Alright, so like I said, we are talking about reading notes off of the staff. So notes above the staff and below the staff. And we're talking about that with both the treble clef and the bass clef. And as you may or may not know, when notes go off of the staff, they start appearing on these lines. And these are known as ledger lines. So, hold on a second. Okay, just make sure I have everything in frame there. Okay, so once a note goes off the staff, it starts to appear on what we call ledger lines, and they're really just to keep track of where you are once you're off the staff, because without them, you would really have no idea what note it was going for. You would just know, it looks like maybe a fifth above, G or something like that. So that's what they are used for. And by now, if you're not familiar with how to read notes on lines and spaces, if you go to the playlist section on the YouTube channel, there are some great playlists which can help you out with that. So basically, if you know how to, actually one thing I want to point out is if notes go from space to space to space to space, just like that, those are called skips. Or even if they go from, let me draw them better this way, I think this will be a little better to exemplify the point, or if they go from line to line to line to line, like it does right here, those are skips. So you're skipping every other note. You may or may not know that already, and trust me, this is part of our trick to getting these a lot better. So the lines of the treble clef we have here are E, G, B, D, F, or every good boy deserves fries, or something like that. You probably know that by now. Now, the thing about that, what I want you to do is practice skipping on the piano. Not like just skipping on the piano like that, that's easy, but saying the notes out loud. E, G, B, D, F, and then continue A, C, E, G, B, D. It's a little bit of a challenge. I've been doing it for a long time, but keep practicing that. E, G, B, D, F, A, C, E, G. And do that over and over again, because what that will do is that will get you to know the lines of the treble clef, which you probably know already, but it will also continue off of the treble clef, with this note here, with A there, you have C, E, just like that. So as you can see, the lines of the treble clef are E, G, B, D, F. F is this top line that we have right here. So you can continue skipping F, A, C, E. If I know that these are all in a line, that this will be F, A, C, E. So if I have a note way up here, 3 ledger lines up, and I'm like, oh man, well, what note is that? It would take a long time for me to just count from F, and then be like, all right, how many notes is that up? Oh, it looks like this many notes. What's better is to just say, okay, it's a line. I'm going to take the top line that I do know, that's F, and then I'm going to skip a few times up from there. And because you've been practicing it, like I told you to, you will be good and just know right away that the top line's F, the next one's A, C, and then that note, of course, is going to be an E, way up there. Same thing goes with spaces. So how are we going to figure this note out? It's way, way up there, way too far to really spend your time and count. Now, it's on a space, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw notes up from the bottom space up to where we need to be. And we're going to use the skipping method again to figure out, exactly where this note is. I have no idea why it did that. But anyway, let me get both of these in here. So I'm just going to use this to my point. So you have F, A, C, E there on the staff. And then, this is like this on the piano, F, A, C, E. They're just skipping up. But like I said, you want to practice starting for both the lines and the spaces skipping. So even from F, the bottom line, you want to go F, A, C, E, G, B, D, F. You want to get really good at that, because once you get to the top space, F, A, C, E, this note right here, you can continue counting very easily just by skipping G, B, D, F. And of course, then this note way, way, way up there would be an F. So to reiterate, you want to take the closest note you do know, like if it's on a line, if the note's way up on a ledger line on a line, you want to find the closest note you do know that's also on a line, which is this F, and then you want to skip up twice to find out that that note is C real quick, and then the same goes with the spaces. Now let's move on to what to do if the notes are below the staff. So here we go. It's the same kind of thing, just in reverse. So one ledger line down, I think almost everybody knows, is middle C. So what you want to do is you also want to practice starting from E, the bottom line, the treble clef, and skipping down. C, A, F, D. So I know that this line's C, this line's A, this line's F, and that line way, way down there is D. So say I just had this note drawn here. What do? I find the closest note I do know, E, and it's E. I have to get good at this. I'm going to try not to look at the piano. E, C, A, F, D. So I know that that note's way down there, D. So you can even get so good at it. You don't need to look at the piano, but you know, obviously when you first do this, you do want to look at the piano so you can visualize, you know, what the notes are, because it will take some practice to be able to skip up and down. So up, E, G, B, D, F, A, C, E, G, and then down, E, C, A, F, D, B, G. And then you can keep going. But it generally, you know, the right hand won't go any lower than the note, this D we have written here. Okay, the same exact thing applies for the bass clef that we have here. Now, with the bass clef, well, it's the same thing. Generally, though, like I mentioned with the treble clef, that notes will not go very, very high on the bass clef, mainly because you're starting to get into treble clef territory, and they generally, like as a writing music rule, they generally don't want voices to cross. So generally, you probably don't see any notes above this note right here. What note would this be? Well, let's use our little method to figure this out. So it's on a space. Let's find the closest space on the staff we do know, which is this G here, and then which is right here, and then we just want to skip up, you know, as many times as we need. So G, this next one here is B, then we have D, F, therefore this note way, way up here is A. G, B, D, F, A. So you want to get that fast at counting up the spaces. Same thing goes with the lines, of course, just like we did with the treble clef. So if it's, say, up there, which is probably a little bit higher than you'd ever see it, how do we figure that out? Well, remember step one. Find the closest line you do know, which is the top line. Now, if the note was below the staff, you'd use the bottom line. So this top line is A. Now we have to skip to C, E, G, and then what's this last one? It's going to be B. Now we're going to do below the staff. Works exactly the same way as you would think. So we now have, like, let's see what we have here. Okay, what note is this? Well, it's not too far down there. I mean, you could count every line in space, but let's do the method we talked about. It's on a space. Use the closest space you do know. That's the bottom space. That's A. And then, of course, skipping down twice is what we need because there's the F. And then that one, of course, is D. What if it's that note? Now, that note's very, very, very low. Generally, when notes go that low, they'll just write 8VB if it's on the bass, 8VA if it's on top, just to extend it down an octave without having to write it all the way down, since these are a little bit hard to read. So anyway, the closest note you do know is probably that A, and you want to go A, F, D, B, G, and E, way, way down there. But like I said, this note is almost impractically low. They would almost write 8VB with it. But just to kind of show you that even notes way, way down there, you can figure those out. What about this line? What note is this? Write it in the comments if you know what note this is. So if we have G on the bottom line, which is our method here, you have G, you skip down to E, C, And that note right there is A. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I have a practice assignment here for you. So the number one thing you want to do, you want to practice this for at least a week, but probably every time you practice, until you have it mastered at least as well as I do. Number one thing you want to do is start on the bottom line of the treble clef, E, on the piano, and practice skipping all the way up until maybe you get to the E, like 3 octaves above that. You actually can't even see it in the frame I have. So here's the E, and you want to go even one more up there. So you just want to continue going. I actually don't even know if this will work out to hit E when I do it, but we'll see. So anyway, you want to practice skipping and not just playing them on the piano. That's too easy. You want to say them out loud. So the first thing you want to do is use the piano, play it and look at the piano while you say them out loud. And then after a while, maybe a week or so, or however long you feel like you have it mastered, then you don't want to look at the piano at all. So if I was starting from the bottom, it would be E, G, B, D, F, A, C, E, D, B, D. I don't know if I'm pressing the right keys or not. I was just kind of bouncing my finger up and down. But that's how you skip. E, G, B, D, F, A, C, E, G, B, D. Oops, D. I went so fast I couldn't even play them fast enough. But the key is to be able to say them fast, because when you're reading the music, you'll be able to see. So if it's on 2 lines above the treble clef, I know, okay, I'm starting on F, and then you just go A, C, and then that makes it way, way, way easier. The next thing you want to do is start practicing skipping from F. That's the bottom space of the treble clef. F, A, C, E, G, B, D, F, A, C, E. Now, if you feel like you master that right away, or you feel like you have it mastered, try it without looking at the piano. F, A, C, E, G, B, D, F, A, C, E, G, and I think that's as far as I need to go. All right, and then the same thing in reverse with the treble clef. Start from the first line, and then count down the other way. I might not be quite as good at this one, but E, C, A, F, D, G, B, G. It's almost like saying it backwards now. So you want to do that. Maybe you don't have to go quite as far. Maybe to an octave C below middle C, and then same thing with the space. F, D, B, G, E, C, A. Like I said, I'm not quite as good. Maybe I should practice it. Let's see. F, D, B, G, E, C, A. I think if I practice it a few times, every day, I would definitely have it. And then same thing with the bass clef. Start from the bottom line, G, B, D, F, A, C, E. You can probably stop at that E. Maybe actually no, go up to this B here. That's generally how far you'd see notes up. And then the bottom space is A, C, E, G, B, D, F, A. And then going backwards, same kind of thing. I think you get the idea. So you want to practice it for each hands, going up, skipping from the line, from the space, going down, skipping line, space, and then do the same thing with the bass clef. So that's really 4 things until you need to do. Do that every day for at least a week, but like I said, you want to continue on to it until you get better and better and better and better at it. So maybe you just want to kind of add it to your regular practice routine. So that's your little assignment for this part of the lesson. Okay, everybody. Okay, I'm now going to address everybody that's here. Let's see what we've got here today. Let me read through some of the comments. So I have actually, let me get to this announcement, because I tend to just kind of forget about stuff, and that's not good. So let me get to this announcement. So there's a little bit of a change up in the way things are going to be done with the live streams. And of course, I typed it in wrong again. Let's see. There it is. Okay, if you go to my website on the community page where we have the calendar, I've actually got around to it finally, filling out the subjects and the topics for the next maybe month. I think it went a little bit further, like month and a half. I still actually have some ideas I need to get out on paper. I just am kind of working them out. So here's how it's going to work, honestly. So from now on, I'm going to actually split the lesson, each topic, into 2 weeks on 2 Fridays. And the goal behind this is that I'm going to give you one half of the lesson on one Friday, and then I'll give you like a second part of the lesson on the next Friday. And generally what I think that will do is that will allow me to teach the lesson and then kind of think about it for a week, because a lot of times what we'll do is we'll do a topic, and then like right after I post the video, I think like, oh man, there's, I really wish I would have added that. So that extra week is really going to allow me to just have more time to think about the topic, and then I'm going to be able to add in like different practice assignments and things into the lessons, because I think that's really what people are looking for, is that they really want a lesson, but they also then want to know, like, what do I practice to get better at this? So I'm going to put a little bit thought and more consideration into the lesson as a whole, but to do that I'm going to split it up into 2 parts. So we're really going to go over 2 different topics per month, at least on Fridays. I mean, I'm still going to answer questions and everything like that, so it's going to give me more time. That means that there will be less edited videos on the YouTube channel, but they will be longer because there'll be really 2 lessons in one, and I think I'll be able to make lessons better that way. People on YouTube really want quality over quantity, so I think if I concentrate 2 weeks into one topic, I think that will work out better for all of the topics. And I've been spending more time thinking about the topics, really based on a lot of the feedback that I've gotten in the live streams and the comments about lessons that people would want. So here's what we're talking about. So we're doing master reading music off the staff today. We're talking about that again next Friday. And then there's also this Watch Me Teach a Piano Lesson thing. That happened actually earlier today at 10 o'clock. We did have that. And actually, it was my student Wolfgang. The recording of that will be posted, I think Sunday. I learned that I can't post the recordings to the live stream. That's actually another change I'm kind of playing around in my head, is I can't post the recordings to the live stream the same day I post the edited video that I normally put out on Friday, because it like messes with the algorithm, because there's like certain it's just kind of hard to explain. So a certain view velocity, and then if I put out the recording and it doesn't get as many views, it kind of messes that whole thing up. So I'm either going to make the recordings of the live stream unlisted and then put them in a playlist. You'll still be able to see them. They'll just be in a playlist. You'll like have to go to a playlist first on the channel. I think a lot of us know how to do that. And then find them and watch them in their entirety there. And then what I'll do is, like before, just edit those into edited videos, and then those will be posted and sent out to everybody's subscriber feed. I'm going to try that for a little while. I've also played around with the idea of waiting to, I still will release the recording of the live stream like normal. We'll just do it on a different day. I'm starting to think that idea might be better. That would also solve the problem as well. So I'll let you know what the deal is with that. So, and then, let's see, we're having a community Q&A on Sunday. A piano finger exercise workout. This will be a very good lesson, I think, for both beginners and people who have been playing for a while. This is going to be an exercise designed by me. We were supposed to have this lesson a few weeks ago, but I wanted to have more time to think about it. And this is going to be a 2-part as well. So that's the big change up, is that we have 2-part lesson. If we look into April, I'm going to try to do lessons on things I've never done before to kind of see how they are. I think a lot of us here are towards the beginner stage, so I kind of shy away from lessons like this one called polyrhythm, duplet, and triplet. And then actually that's going to be a 2-parter as well. So I'm going to try lessons like that they are a little bit more complicated than I think a lot of the viewers are on the channel. Now, there will be some people that will definitely appreciate it. I think Rich had been asking for that lesson for a while. And but I think there's not a lot of lessons on YouTube about that, mainly because it's hard to explain, but I have come up with a way to explain it. I'm also going to link you to another YouTuber's, he made like an online practice tool to practice polyrhythm. So I think during the lesson, I'll kind of shoot you over to his little practice thing so you can use the advice I give you along with his, like, what is that guy's name? Michael New. He does the theory lessons online. I do theory lessons as well, but he's more into the theory side of things. And he does have a different teaching style than me. He's very, very good, though. And I think I'm going to link you over to his thing because I think his little exercise, it's like an online tool kind of thing. A lot of the things we talked about, like musictheory.net and stuff like that. So that's our plans here. Okay, let's see here. Monica. How are you doing, Monica? All right, so let's see what we got here. All right, so let me address not every comment, but let me look here because I've not been watching the comments like I normally do. Hot Pack Trim says, hey, hello. I have a little trick to use. One ledger line's below the treble and below the bass is C. Yes, that is true. It is a guide to know where the other notes are. That's some good advice. Ryan says, hi, Tim. I'm in the car driving home, so I can't really watch or chat, just listening. And then Avi says, finally, my internet is working. Well, hi, Tim. Hello, Avi. Sorry that YouTube unsubscribed you from me. They claim that it's not a glitch, but it's happening to a lot of YouTubers. So we're fairly certain it is a glitch, and they're just kind of they're either not aware of it or they're just not being maybe perfectly honest. Ledger lines of the devil. That's EA. All right. Thanks, Tim. Never thought of doing this exercise. You're welcome, Bronte, and welcome back. Didn't know that. We'll check. Great idea, Tim. Do piano players play both staffs while they play? Yes, that is true, and that is insane. Corey is absolutely right, and welcome to the live stream. And then, let's see. When the notes are above each other the way you have it in a song, do you suppose you play them at once? Yes, or play them at one time. So let me explain this. This is a good topic to bring up that Super Princess has brought up. And Monica, you are still here for the live stream. Bodacious is here again, once again, everybody. How you doing, Bodacious? Bodacious is here to hear about the 12-note system. All right. So Super Princess, when the notes are above each other, yeah. So let me show this for you. Yeah, so if they are like this. Wait, yeah, I mean, that works as well. Or if they are like this, they are played at the exact same time, just like that. Those are called harmonics or harmonies. When you have notes separately, like say, now we're just going to have this note and then this note. Those are what we call melodic or melody. They're just played separately. Yes, bring it on, bro, Tim. I don't know, Bodacious, I don't know much about the 12-note system. I missed the live stream. Oh, I already read that one. Okay, so any other questions about anything we talked about tonight? And what the plan is for the live stream or any feedback? Because like I said, I think spending 2 weeks on one topic, I think will really help bring in a better lesson overall. And it will be longer. It will be more like a guide than it will be. Because sometimes I run out of time to prepare the lesson. So I figure that, if I run out of time, I can at least prepare a good section of the lesson for you 1 week and then do it for you again the next week. Could we dissect together? All right. If you send me an example, Bodacious, we can look at it. If you can link it up. Okay. All right, so if you like this lesson, leave a thumbs up, of course. Of course, it's always good to leave a thumbs up when you feel like you've learned something. That lets other people know that this is a good lesson as well. And I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We'll stick around for a little bit. I know it feels like, it sounds like I'm ending it here. But I just wanted to take the time to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It's such a great community we have here on YouTube. Really excited that I can help so many people learn how to play the piano and that you're all part of it with me. So it's just really, really awesome. Ryan Muma says, why is traffic always so easy on Friday morning and then absolutely terrible Friday night? That's a good question, Ryan. Well, at least the traffic was bad enough to where you could take the time to comment on our live stream. How do you play 2/2 time? Perfect question. In fact, it will make a very good. Well, maybe I could do like an actual lesson and then piece this together into another one, but we'll see. Okay. Now, you say 2-4 or 2-2? 2-2. Also known as cut time. So 2-2 can appear like this, and it can also appear like this. Same thing. So what 2-2 is telling us is that there are 2 half notes in each measure. And that's what the top number is, that there's 2 of them, and that the bottom number really means that there are half notes, and that the half note actually gets 1 beat. So what does this mean? Now, we've had time signatures like 4-4 and then 6-8. Remember that if we go from 4-4 to 6-8, then the 8th note gets 1 beat. There's implications for that. So if you change the note value of what gets 1 beat, that changes all of the other ones. So that's the first thing we have to go over. So now a half note is worth 1 beat. So we have to determine what is the conversion here. We'll get to that in a second, Rich. We'll get to how is everything converted here. So if a half note is worth 1 beat now, it was worth 2 before, right? So we're cutting everything's note value in half from what it was before. Remember, if we're going from 4-4 to 6-8, we're doubling the note value of everything else. This time we're cutting it in half. So this would almost be like you just had 2 quarter notes. 1, 2, or 1 and 2 and. Now what happens when we have 4 quarter notes? Well, it's like eighth notes before. 1 and 2 and. Or let me count it a little slower. 1 and 2 and. So you really have to, in a way, convert it in your head, at least I do, to what it would be kind of in 4-4. So let's do maybe a little example here. Let me write out a little song for us, see what happens here. Oops. Just give me a second here. There we go. I was doing that weird thing again. Well, anyway, I'm leaving out that last note. So here we go. So here's the example that we have. I'm just going to play. Actually, I'm going to play this whole thing from the beginning. So it's going to be counted as. Now we have beats. Let's see here. 1, 2, 1, and 2, and. It's writing really weird because my pen does this really weird thing. 1, 2, 1, and 2, and then you have these, which are going to be counted as 16th notes now. So as you remember, that 16th notes are counted as 1E and a 2E and a, right? So that's how these are going to be counted, except that they look like eighth notes. So let's take a look here. There we go. Now it looks so much better. Okay, so this is going to be counted as 1, 2, 1, and 2, and 1. Oh, wait. Sorry. Let me start from the beginning. 1, 2, 1, and 2, and 1, 2, 1, and 2, and 1E, and a 2E, and a. how you would play. Oh, you play with the left hand too. And there you go. All right, so let's see here. Use it to impress the ladies. An arpeggio, I love it. Okay, let's see here. Whoa, there are a lot of comments that came in. Let's see. I know that's what I said. Okay. Okay, obviously meant both the staffs, not lines, but thanks. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. But yes, the same thing, though, applies. Can each single note give off a symbol expression and controls how we want to use that note? Doesn't that mean what gives off what? So your question may be, can you play a single note different ways? If so, then yes, you can play it short. You can play it, long, or you can play notes like short, smoothly connected. You can, hit them with more force with an accent. You can, make sure you play them with a full value. You can do like a sudden attack and then have it die away with the pedal. So there are a lot of options on how to play a single note to give it more expression. A simple number tells you how many are within a bar, and the bottom, or the top number, why did I say simple, tells you what note is worth one beat. Think of fractions you learned in grade school. That's a good example. How does 6/8 playing look like? I can do that. When I try with the metronome, it throws me off. Sorry, everybody. The allergies are back right on time. What is the term when the notes are stacked but played separately? Top note played last. That would still be melody, since the notes are being played. Well, it can be melody and harmony. It depends on how the notes are moving. It is possible to have, so say you have chords on the bottom, and then you have like a melody up top. Obviously this is the chord, the harmony down here, all the notes being played together, and then the melody is up here, right? Well, technically, when I'm holding this chord here and I'm playing all these notes up here, they all become part of the harmony in a way for the measure. So when I play this note, like when I play the first note together with the chord, that this is actually hitting together with all the chords, and then these notes, maybe aren't part of the harmony as much, but when notes attacked together, the melody is often also included with the harmony. So let's see here. Yes, bass clef and treble clef played at the same time. Yeah, so that is what that is. So an arpeggio, Bronte 7, is a sexy word. Use it to impress the ladies. Can you tell the difference of each note? Why can't we cheat that with emoji? This is what I feel is a missing master link in music theory. And I feel like we could create one together. Bodacious, I don't have the funds, bro. I would love to, but that to make an emoji software, I think, is a little bit outside of my range at this point. Maybe someday. Got it. Thanks again, Super Princess. Yes, thanks for, you're welcome, she says. Yeah, thanks for anybody who, it's really cool when I see somebody ask a question and I can't get to it, either I miss it or something like that, and somebody else chimes in. That is the best. So I always encourage that. If you're ever, watching one of the videos and you see in the comments somebody ask a question and I didn't get to it yet, and you know the answer, feel free to let them know what the answer is. It's always great to help out each other. That's one of the great things about having this YouTube channel, is that not only are you learning from me, but you can also learn from others as well, since they ask a lot of great questions and they have a lot of great insights also. Okay, I think I got it. So the quarter notes are kind of like eighth notes, yes. And the eighth notes are kind of like 16ths, yes. Makes a lot of sense. Yep. No, bro, Tim, what does it feel like just using one note? I think he meant when you play each note of a block chord separately. Oh, like an arpeggio. Yeah, okay, I get it now. Yeah, so that is called an arpeggio. Yeah, alright, I got you now, Bronte. Yeah, that is what we call an arpeggio. Rich, okay, broken chords from top notes, okay, are called arpeggios. Okay, thank you very much. Hopak Trim, Bodacious. No software, just paper chart. We can create it one note at a time out of 12. But I don't know how we would do that. If you send me an example of something somebody else did, I could probably conceptualize it a little better. I meant notation when the notes are stacked. Okay. Oh, I know that. Yes. All right, everybody. Any other comments or questions? We have a lot of great comments here in this wonderful live class that we have. So if you don't know, we have a live class almost every Friday. If you look at the calendar, I am taking 1 week a month off to just kind of take a break. Also, let me come up with some new ideas, which is probably the most important part of the entire process. I'm not even kidding, is actually just, kind of thinking about what we're going to do next. So we have them on Fridays and Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So whatever time, if you're watching this live, it's 8:39 here for me. So whatever 39 minutes ago was for you, that's when we start this live stream. But of course, you can type in conversion from Google's even good at it. You can say 8 p.m. EST to Eastern Standard Time to whatever time zone you are, and it'll tell you like right in the search results. So it's pretty good with that. That's when the notes are played bottom note and each note very quickly. Oh, hold on a second. What does an express like? I do, Bodacious. You can email me, tim@lessonsontheweb.com. That's my main email. Let's see. Hopak Trim says that's when the notes are played bottom to top, and each note is played very quickly after the nights after that. I don't know what that's called. Before or after that. Well, there's a rolled chord, and then there's an arpeggio. They're kind of the same thing, actually. Although with a rolled chord, you will arpeggio it, but you will hold all the notes. The symbol's the same. I mean, no matter what, it's an arpeggio because you're playing the notes separately. So I'm not exactly sure what you are talking about. That's when the notes are top. So one thing I do know is that the arpeggio squiggle can point up and you will roll them up, and then the arpeggio squiggle can also squiggle down, rolling them down as well. Okay, so Hopak Trim, if you could elaborate on that comment a little bit, I could probably help you a little better. Okay. How about the Finger Power book? Have I tried it? I have not yet. I was looking at books to order the other day, and I'm actually compiling a list of books to order for my students. So I do have that in there. I have not gotten it yet because, like I said, I want to kind of make sure I get all the books I need ordered. So I'm not ordering like tons of shipments of books, but I will get that one. I was looking into that one actually just the other day. Why are some notes upside down? That's a good question. Okay, some notes are upside down. Super Princess asks. Oh, you're talking about the rolled chords. Okay. Let's see. Why are some notes upside down? Perfect question. Very simple answer as well. Very simple. Okay, here we go. Okay, here is a note, right? Its stem is pointing up. Now what happens when I move it down? Well, no matter how far I move it down, the stem remains up. Let's see what changes when I move the note up. Oh, you see that? What happened? So it's all up, and then boom, right there at the middle line, it points down all of a sudden. So that's how it works, is that the stem in the stem direction is really so to not intrude on other lines of music. So generally when the note is below the staff, it will point up into the staff, because if the line pointed down here, it will start to get in, in trouble with the notes below. So that's why they have the stem direction. So what happens is when the note gets to the middle line, boom, it pops down all of a sudden, and then all the notes above that point down towards the staff. Okay, Rich has a question about inversions. Go for it, Rich. Hopak Trim. Okay, I read that one. I've enjoyed Lang Lang's app for the piano. I'll have to check that one out. That one is recommended by Bronte7. Now, Bronte, is that app for like iPad? Is it for Android? Is it for Windows? Let us know so we can find it together. Okay, Rich says C major triad in root position is C, G. First version is EGC. And then you have GCE, correct? So what is CGE or oh, great question. Great question. So the inversion of a chord always depends on its bass note. So if I have C and G up here, and I got an E down there, it's the first inversion C major chord because E is in the bass. If I have, well, that's the same example. If I have G and E up here, and I have C down here, that is going to be a root position triad. It even sounds like a root position triad in that it sounds very final. You can definitely hear the bass note down there. You can have a second inversion like that. Because G is in the bass, it sounds like a second inversion chord down there. So it's all about what's in the bass. Okay, Hopak Trim says correct. There are only two true inversions. Yes. So there's only first inversion, second inversion in triads. So you have root position, and then you have inversion, inversion, back to root position. That is correct. But if you have seventh chords, you get an extra inversion because every note you add to the chord gives you one more. So how come those are the only examples taught? What do you mean by that, Rich? Bodacious says, okay, your hoodie is gray, pink with white now. Why did you choose that? What does your hoodie make you feel like, bro? What are you talking about? Is gray pink? The letters of my, that's because that's, you might be referring to the Westchester University. That's just the logo. I didn't design it. How long have you been playing the piano? Great question. I've been playing the piano for a long time, 22 years, I think. Yeah, that's pretty close. Pretty close. About 22 years. A little bit longer than that, actually. Okay. Any other questions? So, Rich, elaborate on your question a little bit. So, how come those are the only examples taught? I don't know. Wow. Wow, says Corey. Rich says, why are the inversions usually shown as EGC, CGC, and not the other ones? Why are the inversions usually shown as EGC? And GCE and not the other ones? Well, that's because it's all about which note is in the bass. That has like a harmonic function to it, because when you have a root position chord, what makes it sound like it's root position, a root position chord has a very final sound. It's because that bass note is C. So even if you move it down an octave, like that, it still sounds very final. Now, the reason they will call this one, so say they have E, C up here, and they have G down here, so you really have G, E, C. That's not like a very common arrangement there. You still say that that one is in second inversion, only because G is in the bass, and G makes it sound like it's going to actually continue. Like it's still, in C major, it's still a one chord, but it doesn't sound nearly as final as, or something like that. So it's all about harmonically what sound has a certain sound in the bass. Okay, Mastering the Pain, Lang Piano Academy for iPad. Mastering the Pain. I do have an iPad. I don't use it very often. But check it out. Check out Mastering the Pain, or Mastering the Piano, from Lang Academy for iPad. Check it out. Recommended by Bronte. Bodacious says, what does it make you feel like without the words? Okay. I've never thought about it. What's the hardest song you've ever played? I get this question a lot. Maybe not Moonlight Sonata, Pathétique Sonata, which I don't remember how to play. I remember the second movement. And the third movement. But I do not remember the first movement very well. Yeah, I don't remember it. Okay, so musically it makes sense to have it that way. That's what I need to hear. Yes, that's the perfect answer. Okay. Interesting. You're getting into some interesting stuff here, Bodacious. Not really not entirely music related, but interesting. Hopeback Trim says, have you heard of the Hungarian Rhapsody #2? Yes. That one's a really good one, actually. I have never played it, though. Oh, no, that's not true. I think I've played an easier version of it because it was in one of my students' books, but I've never played the entire thing. But great song. Great piece, I should say. Song is really more something with words. Let's see what Rich says. Written on the staff, the notes are close to each other. Let's see here. What I mean is, when it's written on the staff, the notes are close to each other. Yeah. Alright, let me scroll up, see if I missed any comments or everything. It's been a great live stream, everybody. I just want to say that. Thanks for coming out. I hope everybody learned something good. I know I did from all of your wonderful comments. Alright, so I'm going to play a little B-flat blues. Think of maybe a last-minute comment or question if you'd like. And then we're going to kind of head out of here, but I'm going to play us out. Okay, we got lots more questions. Let me answer these, and then we'll head out of here. But let's see what we got here. We got some good questions here. Any tips on staying motivated? I'm feeling really down these past few days playing piano. I'm not sure if I'm learning the correct way. Rich, how about on Sunday we have a Skype chat on the live stream for our community discussion? Does that sound good? What I want to do is I want to test out having a lesson over Skype over the live stream. So I had a student showcase earlier today where he played a bunch of songs. I didn't really teach anything though. He had already had them like pretty well put together. So what I would like is, if you're willing to, on Sunday when we meet, we'll do a Skype call like we normally do, but I'll have you play, and then we will go over it together. I'll give you some tips on your playing and things like that during the live stream, and then I'll give you some tips on staying motivated. You know, just write down any questions you have like normal, and we'll go over them again on Friday or Sunday, because that's really something I would like to spend more time to tackle since we're in the last few minutes here. But if you're willing to do that, let me know. Okay, sounds good. All right, it's a plan. Okay, I think playing level should be better than it is by now. Okay, I'll let you know. We'll go over that on Sunday. Let's see. Hopak Trim retracted your message. Okay. Can you play or ever tried playing Flight of the Bumblebee? And good job on your YouTube videos. Keep it up. Thank you very much. I have never played Flight of the Bumblebee. I had a friend who played it, though, in high school. But no, I've never actually tried it. It does look fun. Any tips on staying motivated? I already asked that one. What percentage of expression do you think you miss when playing a keyboard versus a regular piano? Depends on the keyboard. If you have a really good keyboard like mine, a Roland RD700 series or so, I'd say maybe 10% you're missing out on. If you're learning on a cheap Casio thing you bought at, Radio Shack, then it's probably not, you're probably maybe missing out on 70%, and I'm not even kidding. So there's that big of a difference within keyboards you can buy. If you buy a Yamaha mid-range one, you're maybe missing out about 15-20% of the total expression and total ability to get things out of the piano. But that's an odd question, because you can have a piano, you can have an upright piano, but then you can have a Steinway full-size grand piano, like a 7-foot piano, I think they are. And those are like, they'll just blow any upright or any baby grand piano out of the water. So there's even a scale within that. So, you could probably get you can get over 100% maybe if you get a Steinway Grand or something like that. Okay. Will I be having more live streams? The answer is yes, definitely. Okay, sounds good. One more thing. Is Musician a good place for learning the piano? I've heard a lot of bad things about Musician, to tell you the truth. Even here on the live stream, I have a website, pianolessonsontheweb.com, if you're interested in checking out, where I have a bunch of courses that I made. And they're made by me. They have the same kinds of videos that we have here on the YouTube channel. But you also get like printable sheet music examples. You get real songs to play. And a lot of other things that I included too that's even way better than the YouTube channel. So check that out. It's pianolessonsontheweb.com. Let me give everybody that link before we go, even though a lot of us have seen it before. Okay, let's see here. And then I'll answer the rest of the few questions, and then we'll call it a day. Hopefully I can... Man, I just cannot type today. Okay, pianolessonsontheweb.com. Once this is over, check that out. Let's see here. An element of a simple expression, I feel pro. Tim offers a certain express. Some way deserves emoji. Kick-ass. Enjoy your weekend. All right. I tried it. It's not very good. Yeah, Musician. I've heard very terrible things about Musician. Bodacious, I will email you more on this, bro, Tim. Okay, that sounds great. And then if you can, give me examples of everything you're talking about, I can probably, at least think about it a little more and give you a more detailed answer. Yeah, I grew up with a Steinway Grand, so it's been a challenge to get used to my Yamaha keyboard. You grew up with a Steinway Grand? Oh, you're so lucky. So lucky. I love that Steinway Grand. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming out. I think it was one of the best streams we've had so far. We had a lot of great discussion with the community here. You're always welcome to come back. I always love to see new and returning names and faces. Of course, you don't have to communicate with us in the live chat, but I always like that. It always makes it more fun since it gives more topics to talk about as well. So I will see you on Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mark it down on your calendars. Also, you want to subscribe if you aren't subscribed already. You probably are if you're seeing this. But you want to subscribe mainly because you'll get a notification before we go live. I also have a text message service. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it or not because it does cost me quite a bit per month. I'm not sure if it's worth it. Kind of still playing around with that idea. But anyway, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you will get a notification when we do go live. Unless you're like Avi and they unsubscribe you for some reason. So always double check once in a while and make sure to click that bell to get the notifications. Do you think self-studying in piano will affect? Well, so you can get pretty far self-studying on piano. However, you will want to pick up a more traditional teacher in the future eventually. Maybe not right away, but you can learn quite a bit on your own. But then getting another teacher to sit beside you and give you some feedback on your playing is really, really helpful. I'm going to do a lesson with Rich on Sunday over Skype. We're going to see how that goes and get used to that. And then I might open that up as a regular thing to people on the YouTube channel. Skype lessons. Now, obviously, they will cost a bit of money because I need to continue building the channel and everything. But I will let you know more about that. But we're going to test it out on Rich first. Okay, let's see. Not getting notification. So you're not getting any notification. If you're not getting the notification, which is, oh man, really? Well, if you mark it down on your calendars, you will get one. But YouTube has this thing. So if you go to you know normally where it says subscribe anywhere, like on a YouTube video, there's a little bell that comes up next to it, and it's called the notifications button. And you want to hit that, and you want to set it so you get notifications from me, because for some really weird reason, YouTube does not, sometimes with some subscribers, doesn't give out the notifications. I don't understand why. I don't know what they're thinking. They're always changing things up. Great platform, but they are still messing with everything. So if you come, we come at the same time. Fridays and Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out the link I gave you, pianolessonsontheweb.com, because over there is a what's it called? A calendar. Okay, Bronzy says, great, got it. All right, very nice. Okay, all right, everybody. Thanks for coming out. I'll check you out on Sunday and in the next video. So this has been Tim from Lessons on the Web, of course. And thanks for coming out, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Have a great night. All right. Oops. What was that? All right, see you, everybody. Have a good one. Did I buy the Nintendo Switch? No, but I did buy and play the new Zelda today. Oh, Monica says, I thought I missed the live stream. For some reason, I couldn't see anything. Sad to see you leave. Aw, man. All right, Monica. Well, check us out on Sunday if you get a chance. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. An hour ago from right now. We'll meet again on Sunday. And then if you miss that, or you can't make it, we'll meet again on Friday at 8 p.m. as well. Same time we did today. But Rich's question, did you buy the Nintendo Switch? I did play the new Zelda, and it is really awesome. I haven't liked the Zelda game in a really long time. And I think I'm going to really like this one, mainly because it's like they combined Zelda with Skyrim, which is a really cool idea. And they combined it just the right ways. So it's really, really cool. I'll keep you updated on that and all the music-related stuff on Sunday. So thanks a lot, everybody. And I'll talk to you soon.